So, over the weekend, the biggest news from the world of football was the announcement of the European Super League. Essentially, 12 clubs have got together and decided to create a new midweek tournament where they play against each other and the eventual winner is crowned the best team in Europe. The thing is though, a lot of fans are not happy about this. Essentially, it's seen as a way for these 12 clubs and whoever else gets invited to create a private club where they can guarantee themselves ludicrous amounts of money to keep their owners as rich as possible. Fans are also not happy about the fact that these teams also plan to keep playing in their domestic competition at the same time. So they're getting all this money from the European Super League, and it's going to make them richer and richer in their domestic leagues to the point where they're going to be so rich no one else can ever win the league title. So you'll never get a Leicester City moment ever again. Maybe you like the idea of the European Super League, or maybe you do not like it at all. But FIFA, UEFA and lots of national football associations certainly do not like it, and they're threatening to ban these teams from their domestic competitions. And, well, that got me thinking, what if those teams did get expelled from their domestic competitions, and how would that change the face of European football? So that is exactly what I've done. I've gone to all of these 12 teams and I've deleted them from the game. So there's no more Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Man City or Spurs in England, no more Juventus, Inter Milan or AC Milan in Italy, and no more Barcelona, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid in Spain. They're all gone, as if they never existed, and I've replaced them with the next best teams from a division below. So we've removed 6 teams from the Premier League. I've just moved the current top 6 from the Championship into the Premier League, and then the top 6 currently in League One to the Championship, and so on and so forth in all of the leagues affected. And did you know that the best place to get all the information about football leagues from across the world is the sponsors of today's video, the OneFootball app. OneFootball is the best footballing app out there to keep up to date with all of the latest news. I get all the news about the European Super League from there, all the latest live scores, live tables, and you can get push notifications sent straight through to your phone for all of your favourite teams whenever anything happens in games such as goals, injuries or red cards. For me, it's the best footballing app out there, and you can download the app for absolutely free from the top line of the description. Doing so would massively help me out. So if you want to help the channel out, then make sure you download the app for free. In making all of these teams extinct, there is potentially one negative side effect. I thought when I made a team extinct, it would just release all the players and staff, they'd be free agents, and I was looking forward to seeing Lionel Messi sign for Barnsley in the Premier League. However, that's not quite been the case. When I've made them extinct, it's also deleted all of the players. But actually, that got me thinking, that would actually happen in real life. If these clubs stay with their teams in the European Super League, they wouldn't be able to sign for other clubs, for example. So actually, it's maybe more realistic that they stay at those clubs and they're just not available to buy to other clubs. Instead, we might be looking at the Ballon d'Or in 10 seasons' time, and we'll see players like, I don't know, Dwight McNeil winning 8 Ballon d'Or awards. Although with German teams not being part of the European Super League because of the 50+1 rule, and for some reason PSG have become the saviours of football now, as they don't agree with the principle of the European Super League, we might be seeing players like Haaland, Mbappe or Lewandowski dominating the Ballon d'Or in the years to come in this experiment. Now, as I record this piece to camera, I'm still actually simulating the save file on Football Manager, so I'm not entirely sure how far in the future I've gone, but the aim is to go quite far into the future. You can get the save file from my Patreon page. There's a link down to the Patreon in the description below, and whilst you're down there, make sure you do drop a like on today's video. Let's aim for 400 likes on today's video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below telling me exactly what you think about the European Super League, if you think it's a good thing or you think it's a bad thing. Right, so here we are in game. Whilst I've been at work today, I've had this simulating in the background. It's gone 7 seasons into the future, which I think is a pretty decent amount of time for a couple of hours this morning and afternoon whilst I've been working. I think the first thing to do is look at the domestic leagues, then look at continental competitions, and then look at international competitions and awards. So we'll start off with the English Premier Division, and of course with these teams now gone, the makeup of the division is so much different, and currently we've got teams such as Forest, Preston and Reading all in the Premier League. As you can see on the right hand side of the screen here, past winners are Everton, and then Leicester won 5 in a row before Wolverhampton Wanderers ended up winning in the 26-27 season. So I guess for these teams, it's been pretty decent for them. You can also see here on this screen that Liverpool, Man City, etc. no longer exist. You can't click on them, you can't do anything with them, they just don't exist. So clearly the top two teams in the division have been Leicester and Everton. Everton coming second and third quite a few times, Leicester winning quite a few titles. Watford even snuck into second place. Southampton have done pretty well, but Wolves ended up winning a league title as well. And in terms of the FA Cup, well, I guess the new top six of teams such as Leicester, Everton, Wolves, Southampton, those sort of top four, I suppose, are dominating proceedings, whereas the top six did before. In terms of Serie A, I don't know quite as much about this division as I do, of course, the English leagues, but as you can see on the right-hand side, Napoli and Roma have been the two teams winning the league titles. Lazio have been runners-up 4 times, Atalanta have come third 3 times, and also Torino and Bologna getting themselves involved in that as well, so good for those two teams. And when we get to La Liga, Real Betis, Real San Sebastian, which are Real Sociedad, and of course Valencia have been winning the league titles here. In fact, despite Betis winning La Liga in 2021, it's been really dominated by Valencia and Real Sociedad. No one else really getting into the top 2 or 3 other than Sevilla, Bilbao and Levante. Moving into European football, and we'll start things off with the Europa Conference League. And usually the European competitions are dominated by English, Spanish and Italian teams, in Germany, obviously France every now and again too. But in this instance, Sassuolo and Valencia win the first 2 titles, but after that, it's teams from different countries. I mean, Germany and France are still in there winning it, but Zenit did win it in the season we've just had, beating Bologna in the final. Turkish team Trabzonspor got to the final, as did Shakhtar Donetsk. Moving into the Europa League, and it's been dominated a little bit more by some familiar teams. Leicester won it in the inaugural season since we started this experiment. Sassuolo have won it twice, and Club Brugge have won it though, which is really interesting to see. So well done to Club Brugge beating West Ham United in the final. The Champions League though is the interesting one, I must say. PSG have won it once and then lost in 4 finals, which obviously is not very good for them. Borussia Dortmund have gone on to win it 4 times, so congratulations to Borussia Dortmund, winning every single final they got to. Bayern Munich picked one up as well, and Leicester City also win a Champions League final by beating PSG in said final. Also, commiserations to Hertha Berlin, who made a final but unfortunately lost to fellow German side Dortmund. Now, one of the big things about the European Super League is that FIFA and UEFA have said that players playing for teams in the European Super League can't play for their national teams. And actually, this has had a profound impact in this save file. If we start off with the European Championships, a lot of Italian, English and Spanish players couldn't take part in the competition, obviously because they were playing for teams in those countries, which meant that in 2021, Denmark went on to go and win the European Championships, beating Spain in the final. Spain obviously doing very well to get to a final, despite a lot of their players playing for Barcelona, Real Madrid and Atletico, so did really, really well to get through there. Italy ended up winning it in 2024, but not many Italian sides were deleted in part of this save file, so I guess Italy recovered pretty quickly with some nice regens. The World Cup, though, that is the biggest shocker, I think, in my opinion. Now, Brazil have won it in 2022 and 2026, but the runners-up in 2022 was Scotland. Scotland got to a World Cup final, and I guess they've been helped out there massively by the fact that they've not been affected at all by any of the regulation changes and teams being deleted, etc., etc. So well done to Scotland. But that wasn't just the anomaly, because they came third in 2026, 4 years later. So this Scottish national side it must be great. I don't know how it's great, particularly with Chris Hutton as the manager, but they're currently ranked 14th in the world and they're doing very well for themselves. Congratulations, Scotland. So maybe if you're a Scottish football fan out there, this is something for you. You should get behind the European Super League, maybe. When it comes to international awards and the Ballon d'Or, I think it was pretty much given that Haaland and Mbappe would dominate it. But in the first season, Robert Lewandowski finally won a Ballon d'Or, which I think he should have won in real life in 2020. Anyway, with Leroy Sané and Kylian Mbappe as the runners-up. Then begins 3 years of Erling Haaland dominance as he won ahead of Robert Lewandowski and Leroy Sané. The season afterwards, Mbappe second and Mikel Merino in third. I'll be honest with you, I'm not quite sure I know who he is. I don't think I've come across him before, but clearly must be a class player to come third in the Ballon d'Or. The season afterwards, Sané there once again with Mbappe in third. Mbappe finally wins it in 2025, beating Leroy Sané, who comes second virtually every single season at this stage, with Dani Olmo in third place, currently playing for PSG. And then the season we've just had, Erling Haaland beats Jadon Sancho and Fabio Silva to the title. And I've just seen Jadon Sancho also plays. How good is this PSG side now? So PSG, they've got Onana in goal, they've got Tagliafico, they've got Ezekiel Barco, they've got Memphis Depay, they've got Mbappe, they've got Haaland, they've got Bellingham, they've got Marquinhos, they've got Sancho, they've got Dani Olmo. They've got such a good wow, this PSG side is mental. And I guess this is one of the things, right? PSG have all the money. If they never got into the European Super League, they would just dominate the rest of football, given how much money they actually have. So a bit of a short video today. It's all I had time to do in the time I had to make the video to get it out for you guys today. But I hope you guys did enjoy it, and it gives us a bit of a glimpse into what football would be like without the teams who are proposed to be in the European Super League. Of course, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you do drop a like on it for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.